Hey everybody, Dave Neal here, stand-up comedian and host of Bachelor Recap, a Guy's Review. We have some breaking news today. TMZ reported that Cassie Randolph is dropping her stay-away order versus Colton Underwood. They were set to go to court this Friday, November 6, 2020, to see if she'll get a permanent restraining order against Colton. To recap, what happened was she accused Colton of placing a tracking device on her car, which allegedly he had admitted to that already in a phone call. She also received all these threatening text messages from an unknown number, which he said he fabricated and kind of created a fake stalker situation. She had got granted a temporary restraining order for about a month until we could go to court. Now, she said that she had hoped her and Colton could resolve this issue out of court, but of course, today, Election Day, November 3rd, 2020. Is that today? November 3rd? I don't even know anymore. The best day out of the year to release a story you don't want anyone to talk about, okay? The whole country, the whole world is talking about the election. I already voted, so now I can talk about this. TMZ reported that she drops not only the stay-away order, but also the police investigation. Now, as an alleged victim, she has every right not to pursue a police investigation or a restraining order, but does this mean that he's innocent, or does it mean that they were able to settle their differences? According to the TMZ article, it says Cassie Randolph apparently no longer feels threatened by her ex Colton Underwood because she dropped the restraining order against him. In fact, she's dropping everything. TMZ says, sources tell TMZ Cassie dismissed the restraining order with prejudice, meaning she can't refile it. So this is it. This is the end of this story. Pack your bags, folks. We're also told the police investigation is being dropped per her request. Now, Colton talked to TMZ. You could tell Colton's been wanting to talk to TMZ. I mean, as soon as this thing gets released, he feels vindicated, right? He tells TMZ, today Cassie asked the court to dismiss the temporary restraining order against me. The two of us were able to reach a private agreement to address any of Cassie's concerns. I do not believe Cassie did anything wrong in filing for the restraining orders and also believe she acted in good faith. I appreciate everyone's respect for privacy regarding this matter. And then as TMZ reported, the LA County Sheriff's Department claimed that the Bachelor star put a tracking device on her car. I guess we'll never know, because now it's not going to court. Let's hope that Colton doesn't, let's hope that he's maybe learned a valuable lesson about toxic love. I mean, as you know, we've made about 15 videos on the subject, from toxic love to purity culture to, addictive personalities and codependency. I mean, you can click on any one of them if you think you need help or know someone who does. What had happened was Cassie alleged that Colton would show up uninvited to her LA apartment in her parents' house in Huntington Beach, bombarding her with harassing text messages. I mean, you guys know 250,000 people watched my video reading some of the text messages. They were insane. They were crazy. They were sent at 3 in the morning. He was caught in the alleyway at 2 a.m. Real troubling things. She had every right to file this restraining order. And I am only suspicious now that on the eve of elections, that this is the story they want to dump. They clearly didn't want anyone talking about it since they, like your typical Friday afternoon, media dump. They dumped it on the biggest political day in the history of our world, potentially. And anyway, leave a comment below and let me know what you guys think. I mean, I guess from here on out, we probably won't get any more information. I'm going to assume that they're going to agree to not talk about it. And we don't know what those agreements are. She very well could have decided that their out-of-court agreement was that he wouldn't go near her. Maybe he's over her now. Maybe, who knows? We can't think for, when anyone has these addictive personalities, you don't think that they just go away overnight. But maybe he learned his lesson. Maybe he learned he went too far, You'd think if he was innocent that he would have been filing some sort of, countersuit to kind of prove his innocence. Because if anyone accuses you of putting a tracking device on their car, that's a heavy accusation. So you'd think if he was innocent, if it was me, I'd want her to have a written apology saying it wasn't me. Or if I didn't put the tracking device on her car, I'd want the police investigation to continue. Find out who did it. And more so, any lawyers, leave a comment. I'm not an expert. Does Cassie even have the right to decide that the police investigation is ended? You know what I mean? I guess she does. Now, according to, I think it's California Penal Code 637.7, you can't put a tracking device on someone else's car. You can't do that. You cannot track someone. That's against their freedoms as an American, okay? So because of that, he could face up to 364 days in a county jail, which is a tall order. That's no joke. So hopefully he learned his lesson, and hopefully we all kind of learned a little bit about what can go into toxic love, jealousy, obsessiveness. And as I mentioned before, not to make any excuses for Colton because it is very wrong. We all have the ability to go on social media, look at someone's geolocation on Snapchat. We all have the ability to be like that, obsessive, overthinking, ruminating in negative thoughts, trying to control others. So it's important for us to look within ourselves and use this as an example of everyone deserves the freedom to live and be who they are and not feel like they're controlled or a possession. And relationships too often can lead to possessive nature when one person pulls away and then the codependent pushes towards them. That's not a healthy relationship for anybody involved. So if anyone has any questions, comments, concerns, I'll respond to your comments. Just know red flags when you see them. Hopefully this whole story was a good example of red flags that Colton had. And, I think the thing we've all wanted through this whole process of talking about it is to not let this stuff keep on happening. We talk about it because it lurks in the alleys. It doesn't, it's not something that's communicated in pop culture. The problem with the control dynamic with relationships and domestic issues like this, it's just not talked about enough. I mean, I couldn't imagine getting 3 million impressions on that video because people just wanted to hear a guy talk about it. So many people commented, "Oh, geez, it's nice to see we have an ally." Listen, ladies, men are out there. We support you. We want to protect you. Unfortunately, I'm sure for a lot of Colton's friends, they didn't know he was out there at 2 a.m. going through the alleys, doing this and that. I'm sure not, because to them, he was just a normal guy. We're trying our best to keep our eyes open to these situations, and we need to do a better job. But I think it's important to have these discussions. So leave a comment. I don't know if we'll talk about this anymore. We'll see if any more information breaks. But as for now, that's the story. If it's still November 3rd and you're in the country and you haven't voted yet, get out there and go vote. Exercise your right. And let's see what happens. But I appreciate you guys sticking along for this ride. And if anything good can come of it, it is positive discussion. And let's hope that there's no more news revolving the Colton Underwood, Cassie Randolph situation, because I feel like any more news at this point wouldn't be good. But if there is anything, I'll report it and I'll let you guys know. Hit the subscribe button if you follow the Bachelor Nation content. I've got all my videos online, stand-up comedy, podcasting, all that jazz. Appreciate your time. Bye, everybody.